Max LA Golf, and welcome to the channel if you're a brand new viewer. Thanks Max for coming on the channel.
You bet.
Coach to Michael Shambo, mentor, father figure, kind of a thing that you've kind of told me off camera before was when you spent your time on tour for 3 years, and it was all round job, wasn't it, in terms of helping it.
You bet.
So today I want to kind of share with the viewers the theory of the zero shifting motion, one plane swing, and just a few key points in which hopefully would maybe help them in understanding.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. I think the reason why we set this up, this is probably close to Bryson's swing plane. And so really what we did is we started with what a normal person or a normal player, normal, let's say, address position was. And you'll be able to see it on video where the hands are typically lower, right? But what we found is that as Bryson was swinging, his hands were more higher at impact. And so he thought, well, why don't I just start there and try to swing on that same motion?
Come back to where you started.
Yeah, I mean, it was really quite simple. I think, I look back in my history, and Nicholas being influential in my time, obviously, and he was very vertical, golfer. I always thought the vertical swing was probably the best way. If it were just a perfect vertical, you'd probably be able to hit it really straight, but obviously we can't necessarily do that. And so, Bryson just took it at extremes. And then the key was for him and how he held on to the club. So he didn't hold on to it in his fingers, he held on to it more in his lifeline. And then what he was able to do is he would practice on something like this. This is the plane swing. We had something at my place called the shy circle. And he would just swing over and over and over again. And then he would actually take it, let's say, just a little bit away from the plane and try to mirror it. And so he would find, I did it there, I don't want to do that. So he would try to mirror it all the way, mirror it all the way, mirror it, mirror it, mirror it, which really is a good workout. And I would suggest that to almost anybody to utilize a circle like this and practice like that. So again, this theory was quite simple. Just try to set up to where the left arm and the club shaft were pretty much in line.
And that's, the grip helps that, doesn't it?
100%, yeah. I mean, and again, you don't necessarily have to do that. I certainly believe that the bigger grip gives us a little bit, some more options, in how we hold on to the club. Maybe not entirely like in the palm, like Bryson might do. Maybe you're a little bit more. Yeah, you can have a modified version of that. And then again, this was just very simple for him to return back to that same motion. And so having a circle like this to practice all the time enhanced his practice quite a bit.
So in terms of the one plane swing, now it's not for everybody, is it? It might be.
Maybe.
Would you
you
advocate people to try?
No, I think so. Here's what's really difficult. So I would Bryson and I in the end, let's say Bryson, we've talked about it many times about really where is it important.
Yeah.
And so first of all we started at address and impact. So now we're saying, okay, well, is it important that the club and the hands stay on that plane all the way to this position? He practiced that for a long period of time. Now you probably see him, it might be a little bit different or a little bit off. Our conclusion in the end really is that from probably, let's say, from this point forward, we call this release point, from here through impact, it needs to be on that starting plane. So when you see Bryson playing, you'll see it might even get on plane as early as, let's say, parallel to the ground, where you might see it, okay, wow, he's on that same plane. And I think as a person is practicing, unless you're able to be on something like this constantly or video constantly, you're going to be off. It's almost impossible. I have only one player that's really close to that, and it's only because that person practices a lot. And so you have to be willing to spend hours and hours and hours trying to get that on one, let's say that one plane. The other thing about the one plane is that, is it a wide plane? Or is it a real tight? So Bryson just kept making it tighter and tighter. Whereas again, I'll look at a player and go, look, as long as it's in this gap, you're doing pretty good. Yeah, we don't want it here, right? We don't want this huge variance, right? But maybe we want it in here. If the club is working in that vicinity, I think will be okay.
What would that look like on camera? No, we've not got this on camera now, we're down the line, like the actual angle, but say for example, if you were drawing lines, where would they roughly be? So
typically what we like is, we'd like to see, let's say through the shoulder blades, where the plane would be.
Okay.
Some people might be a little bit different, might be a little flatter than that, some might a little bit more vertical than that. Also depends on, the length of clubs that you're utilizing. So obviously the driver is going to be flatter.
Sure.
We're not able to have one length all the way through.
But that's where, with Bryson using the same clubs every time, that's where, in terms terms of repeatability.
Right. So again, and for me, my belief, and I have quite a few players where they only have 2 lengths. So they have their, let's say, 4-iron through their 60 degree, 37 inches, and then they'll have a 42 or 43-inch driver 3 with their 5-wood. So they're really only 2 swings that they're practicing. And so basically 2 planes. So to me, and Bryson said this to me one day, he said, I have 13 planes. I said, yeah, I guess so, you're right. And so, he goes, well, I'm gonna have 13 different setups. Well, that I kind of disagree with a little bit, which was fun, because then he went and videoed every single swing, and we went through every swing, because he goes, I'm gonna show you, I have 13 different setups. So his point was, I want to have one setup that works for everything. And then he realized, well, I can't do that with a driver, or my 3-wood, whatever. But my 4-iron and down, I could have the same exact setup, right? And so that limited more variables, is what there was not as many variables in the motion. So again, I think as the person taking it back, if I'm taking it back and I'm a little higher than that, I'm okay with that as long as it gets back. Certainly we see where guys are talking about the center of mass and how the center of mass is we shallow the club out. You know, I would probably prefer somebody hitting it from here. If I started here and I went here and hit it, I would want that versus here and then this way, obviously. So I think, you know, again, if it goes to here and it's a little bit up or down from that, it's fine. You know, it's what it does, I think, from at least the parallel to ground position to impact, that's where it has to be a little more precise.
So, if summary, if people went away, right, okay, could we get it on one plane from sort of, say, roughly just above hip out the way back, hip out the way?
100%. I think, again, I think the guy just practiced here and here all day long, that they'd be way better player. And you know, you look at, if people, even Bryson would say, who do you think I look most like? I would have said Steve Stricker. Because Steve just had a little bit flatter plane.
Yeah.
But you look at his motion, not a lot of wrist cock or hinging or whatever you want to call it, right? He just was on a shallower plane angle, but very similar to what Bryson did.
Very effective.
It's very effective. I think Stricker actually decided, I want to build a simple swing that's easy to repeat. And I think once he did it, I think he found in the end he still hit it fairly far, or far enough.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a repeatable swing that he could go into the middle of winter in the snow and come out going, I'm still okay.
Yeah.
That was really what it was.
Perfect, Mike. Thank you very much for coming on the channel. Thank you for sharing the insight.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching today's video on Alex Elliott Golf. For all Mike's information and his Instagram handle, find it down below in the description. Thanks once again.
You bet.